Alright, this is cleaning out your dump tab for an average player like me who has stuff like jeweler's recipes, random uniques to get the vendor stuff for, and you know, just a whole bunch of junk. It's not like a super meta dump tab where it's all like small items and maps, and you know, I pick up a lot of crap. I did. You make some good chaos off it too, so it's not, you know, I like it. Anyway, I put up in the corner the list that I'm using. And in short, I'm just going to do those search keywords, and that's about it. We're going to do it. So first we do the veileds. Pretty straightforward there. We're going to take these over to June, and there we go. If I had more room after grabbing them all, I would start doing the elder and shaper stuff first. So with the veil, even if the base item isn't, like you don't really think it's worth anything, you still just grab whatever veiled mod it has. Obviously, you're going to check it anyway for the sake of, you know, you want to make sure you get these progressed as much as you can. But it's going to add an extra mod on the item. So, like, if it has 5 mods, and then you veil a 6th mod on, you know, when you vendor it, you'll get some alchemy shards back. So, that's just random fun fact. There we go. Cool. So, obviously, it's all garbage, but get rid of those. Now we're going to go back. And as you're vendoring stuff, just Ctrl+click and just dump all your currency that you're getting from vendoring back into the tab. So next is Elder and Shaper stuff. If you were running any Elder Shaper maps while you were, you know. So Shape 1 can pick up, some extra stuff. But, you know, pretty straightforward. So when you're doing these two, check for the base. That's a really weird combo. I'm not seeing anything that screams, hey, this is good. That's kind of a cool combo here. Like the lightning damage and then the added light, but not really anything to, you know, write home about. That's kind of cool. It's got Fortify and a lot of fizz. It's got hybrid fizz. The Fortify gives fizz. I think we can actually even put fizz on this. This might be worth something. So for the rest of them, you're going to do this and check where it says item level. 82s, 83s, 81s, so these are going to be garbage. If it's 84 or ideally 85, you usually want to, I can't put flat fizz on it. I can do hybrid fizz. I mean, flat. I can put flat fizz, not percent. So we're going to look into this, so we're going to check this out later. I'm just going to throw it in a random tab. It's probably not worth anything, but maybe I can get a couple chaos off it. So next is your uniques. We're running out of room.
Glad you made it back, Essen.
So just ID these. Obviously, you're going to keep your rings for lore weave. I don't think balefire is worth anything. If I forget, I mean, pretty much. I like occasionally just double checking, like if you have a random unique that's really not worth anything, but it happens to have like perfect rolls, it could all of a sudden be worth something. So fun stuff. Then obviously the rings we're gonna keep for. There's our lore weave. There it is. All right, dump the currency. I think I had another unique. Yeah. So what's next on the list? Cards, div cards. So we're just gonna grab all these. Oops. Alright, we're just gonna get these dumped. And then, you know, just keep an eye like that just finished. I feel like some of these I didn't actually want, but what are you gonna do? Alright, let me just turn these in real quick. There's actually a lot of cards. Sad face. What percent is that? 8? Oh. Sad face. Sad face. I'm pretty sure that thing is garbage. Oh, that might be a good roll. There are no rolls. Alright, well. Still price check the portal. It's probably gonna be worth like a tiny something. Let me just sell this garbage and back to dump tab. What did we just do? We did cards? Yeah, we got them all. So next is essence. And in my stash tab where I keep the essences, I also have sacrifice fragments. So I'll also just type in sac, search for those. Nothing there. And if you do one thing, you still got a ton of inventory room. Just move on to the next. Less back and forth. So this is jewels. So these I like just doing on their own instead of with the regular rares, because I pick up lots of blue ones too. I mean, I'll pick up like everything, and I might end up augmenting a few. So I'll just switch over here. Oops, augments. Just kind of run down the line real quick. And are any good? Plus, I like mentally just kind of going through, and like, you know, you're looking for the same mods. That might actually be a good combo. It's got perfect burning damage too. Sometimes having a perfect roll is kind of a big deal. Like if that thing showed that they were like 1 or 2 chaos each, I'd be like, oh cool, and then I would research for it with either perfect or close to perfect on the damage roll. Probably make a few extra chaos that way. It's kind of cool. So those are all garbage, but that's not surprising. They usually are. Oops, forgot to dump my essences. Those are gonna go in the currency, so we're just gonna throw them back. Jewels, so gems and flasks. So I just made a mistake. After I searched for the jewels, I was supposed to search for these too. So there's just less back and forth. So the flask is just for, these are vendor recipes. Pick up your quality jewels, none of, gems. The flask vendor recipe I kind of stopped doing because it's really fallen off in terms of actual value, like trading them for chaos orbs. So the next thing on the list is the big one, rares. So when you're grabbing your rares, pretty much just keep clicking, like smaller items and belts, until you fill up more or less. I mean, the whole thing is you're trying to waste as little time as possible while you're doing this. So for like while I'm explaining it, I'm obviously going a little slower than normal, but yeah, you kind of just spam click in your tab on anything that's highlighted when you're doing this. But I like to, I'll show you and get a better example in a second. Here we go. I need more scrolls. Always need more scrolls. Whoops. So like I'm gonna just grab a couple bigger things like belts and gloves and helms and all that jazz. Did not mean to grab those. And then grabbing rings, and like right now I can't click anything, so I'll just go through and try and click like little rings a few times. Get a couple of those out the way. Alright, now we're good. It's just less back and forth between the vendor and the stash tab if you fill up your inventory as much as you can. So like that's not terrible, but this late in the league, it's not really going to, oops. There's going to be too much competition for it. It doesn't have any big, like, selling point. This is kind of cool because it's got chaos res, and it's, oh, it's full mods, okay. Yeah, never mind. So chaos res is actually, like, people are, really starting to notice the importance of it. Especially with like, you know, it's getting mid-league or late league now, so people are really trying to push harder stuff, get max level if they haven't already, you know, 99, and the syndicate stuff in this league it's one of those things where you could be doing totally fine and you kill a bunch of them and everything's fine, then all of a sudden you have one encounter where just magically you're dead. And in this specific league, it's pretty much due to chaos res in a lot of cases. So I started fixing my chaos res, and while I was looking up items, I realized they're going for a lot. Like way back, you know, years ago, chaos res was just completely ignored. No one cared. It was essentially a dead stat on gear for most people. Now it's actually, whoops, I didn't saw it. Now it's actually got value, which is awesome. Well, awesome for selling, but not awesome if you're trying to buy some chaos res. Yeah, okay. This is pretty much it. As you can see, I really do pick up a lot of rares. And if it wasn't for that dump tab that I'm using and just dumping everything in there, it would definitely not be time efficient to pick them all up and ID them, even though I do make some. I've sold so many good rares that I've found and just been like, oh damn, that's awesome. This is probably not going to be, this run's not going to be a good example of that, but I have done it, I promise. So I still like doing it, and if I didn't have this big quad dump tab though, I would probably have stopped picking up so many and maybe switch it to only like specific T1 bases or something, and you know, been more about just picking up the currency, or really just switched up how I pick up gear. But having that quad tab really does change your looting and everything. So the rares are done finally. It's a miracle. And the latest thing is gonna be maps. And well, not the last thing, but the last thing we're gonna be searching for is maps. So now we grab all these, and honestly, like it's really easy to see them at this point. We're pretty much done. I just like searching for them. The highlight box that it puts around it when you search, I really like that. I just feel like with how small things are in a quad tab, it just makes it a little more convenient. So now we got to do our jeweler's hoard recipes, which are these big ass 6-socket things. Since they're all huge items, and they're the only actual gear left, it's so easy to just click them. You don't even need to type. Well, you really can't type anything even if you wanted to, because as far as I know, there is no search for. You can search for socket colors, like you can type sockets :space RRB. I'll show you like red, you know, blue. But I couldn't find anything online or test and figure out anything to search for actual sockets. But so that's it. The rest of the stuff, you know, just click. It's actual currency now. It's the only stuff left. Got this cool column because you just kept dumping stuff in it. And that's pretty much it. So one of these things is a scarab. I guess you could type scarabs. I feel like with the scarab you could just click it at any point during all of this and it doesn't really matter. You don't get them that often. You know, maybe you'll have like one per dump tab if that, so it's whatever. But that's it. Clean dump tab, pretty quick, especially considering I went a little slower while I was explaining it, but overall, you know, I've really been messing with a lot of different orders, like the order that I do these, the different searches in, and just trying to figure out which one felt the smoothest and the most efficient to get it done, because for a while I was just randomly thinking, alright, I don't know, Veil, and then I guess do maps, and oh man, now it's highlighting a bunch of extra stuff because a keyword matches both, and whatever. And this just, after a lot of dumping, seems to be the best order that I ironed out. The only thing is, I would say, I guess it's not perfect because like scours and alk get highlighted when you type in rares. But I tried doing currency before rares, like just typing in cur and get rid of those. That resolves that problem, but then you have to do currency twice, because once you're done with everything, you got to do that one last click down the left of to get all the leftover currency. So, you know, this for me is the best way that I've figured out to actually get it done very time efficiently. Hopefully it helps some people. I couldn't find anything online that really seem to help for me or someone who picks up a whole crap ton of rares and a lot of extra garbage that we probably shouldn't be picking up, but we like IDing them and occasionally, making some of those bigger sales. So hope that helps, and take care.